Hi friends, this is Sunny, and I chose to do a PowerPoint that was posted by Rob Potter, who's an associate professor at the University of Indiana, and he was doing a presentation on the research from the 5 individuals listed below at the bottom of your screen. It caught my eye early and I came back to it. I actually think it's a pretty strong presentation, and we'll break that down here going forward. On slides 2 and 3, I think he does a nice job of bringing some clarity to this presentation. He defines both branded apps and the effectiveness terminology, some of the terms used throughout the presentation. I also think there's a lot of coherence throughout this presentation. It's very smooth and easy to follow along if you visit the whole thing. Throughout the presentation, there's a use of a lot of visuals, which is helpful to some of the information provided. On this particular slide, slide 12, it's interesting and it maybe does make it easier to understand it quickly, but it's certainly not necessary. And then if we go to slide 19, starting to use some statistics here, reports the mean, a few stats. There's a grammatical error up here at the top, so that apparently did not go through the 3 necessary reviews. Another thing I wanted to point out about Mr. Potter's presentation here is he does a nice job of using very simple bar graphs. There's one main point on them. They're very clearly labeled with titles, not too many concepts, as I said, in one chart. A couple examples of these are on slide 27 and 28. I thought those were very nicely done and easy to read, and consistency with the decimal points presented. I'm back on slide 17 now, and there were some weaknesses and recommendations that I would provide for this presentation. There is some inconsistency with the font that is used. If you look at 17, this is the main font of the presentation. 18 looks like kind of a poor copy and paste. And then back to the font used here in 19. Let's skip ahead to 22 here. This is really just very difficult to read, so I assume that the presenter, there was no audio attached with this presentation, does a better job of explaining this slide than the slide does on its own. Those font changes in general are a bit of a distraction for the audience. My final recommendation comes from some of the information we learned in our text on page 648. This presentation does a nice job of using ideas, pictures, and words. It's a very smooth transition with the narrative and pictures, simple information presented. However, it's more info than it's expected. The text states that normally we shouldn't be able to figure out the content of the entire presentation without the presenter's narrative. In this case, I think, it's posted online. We get the general idea, and it's pretty complete. So maybe a bit less information on the slides, and it would be interesting to hear from the presenter/poster's point of view as well. Otherwise, I think it was pretty well done. I'm looking forward to looking and listening to your presentations as well. Thank you.